MiniMax just released their new model, MiniMax M-2.7, and this is pretty amazing as it is a super cheap model, very good at coding and machine learning, very good at using PowerPoint, Excel and Word, as well as very good for OpenClaw and related stuff like skills, tools, etc. We're going to test it out today, but first we're going to begin with some benchmarks. So if you don't want to see the benchmarks, jump like to the 3rd or 4th minute of this video to see me test it out live. So first of all, this was one of the first models that ever created and trained itself. Literally, they got a loop where this model was used to make and train the previous model. And it's doing an amazing job in terms of performance. This is one of the most insane things we ever seen. So let me show you exactly its performance on independent and non-benchmarks. So this is like GLM5 in terms of intelligence. It is a significant improvement versus their previous 2.5 version. Its cost is very, very small, 30 cents for millions of input, $1.20 for million tokens of output. No change in pricing, kind of small context window, 200,000, but we know that a lot larger context windows don't really work in practice. So this is one of the best models, like it's 7 points behind the best one, which is Gemini 3.1 preview, at least in this case, and it's doing a very significant jump in terms of Pareto frontier. So it costs very little, but performs very, very well. In terms of their benchmark about real-world use cases, it's doing one of the best works, just behind Opus 4.6. Overall, it's not thinking that much, it doesn't hallucinate that much, and overall, it seems like a very good model. Total cost was very, very small. This is like 40% cheaper than Gemini 3 Flash to run on all of these benchmarks, about 90% cheaper than Opus 4.6. It's really a very cheap model to run. It's really not overthinking. If you see here, the thinking budget is very low. So overall, it seems like a very solid model, a very capable, solid and cheap model. Right now on OpenRouter, we can see that the throughput is not that amazing, to be honest with you. It's like 36 tokens per second, but this model is not really that big, so I expect independent providers to make it even faster very, very soon. So let's begin by testing it out. The first thing is we're going to create the usual Pokemon Pokédex webpage. Let's go here. I'm going to use Max Intelligence and let's run it. I'm also going to try different stuff as we progress, but in most cases, like these kind of prompts are some of the best prompts I have to judge how good the model is in terms of understanding, in terms of visual understanding, creativity, teaching other people, and also developing. So let's jump to the result. Just to make it clear, it's not beating Opus 4.6 in most cases, at least for coding, or GPT 4.5, 5.4, but it's very, very close to them, while being like 10 times cheaper, 20 times cheaper than Opus 4.6. So it's a very capable model, but I really want to show you the results. And we got the result. So this is indeed one of the best Pokemon Pokédex web pages I have seen from a model. It also has stats here, which is pretty amazing. You can open it up on a new screen because it's already hosted by them, and it looks absolutely amazing. One of the best results, full animations, and this is amazing. This is lovely. I gotta be honest with you, looks super, super good. And yeah, I really, really like it. Well done to them. Let's move to the second query. Second query is creating a web page about transformer models, teaching them to people. Let's try it out. And this is the result. So it looks a little bit like AI, obviously, but I like that it has this like pink color here. So nice animations, everything is shaping up nicely. I would say very, very nice here animation again for the cards. Information is sound, I don't see anything strange. So here we have the input sequence, the encoder stack and the decoder stack. Looks nice. Here we can preview the attention mechanism. I wouldn't say this is super amazing, but okay. Here we can see the key components. I don't like this section. This section could have been done more stylized better, but whatever. Here are the different applications, some code that you can copy and paste. So that looks interesting as well. Let me give it a quick look. Looks sound. And here we have like a timeline of how it progressed over the years. But the cutoff is 2023, which is strange. Here we can see the original paper. It's not really linked. Hugging Face course. This could be interesting if it made them linked, but it's not. So I gotta say, this website is good, but I expected something better. Like, I don't see anything super insane. I mean, it's good information, not super good UI, but I would say it's not bad as well. So I would give it like a 5 out of 10. But again, we have to understand that this model is very cheap, very small, open weights, so it's alright. Now let's try out making a Flappy Bird game. Let's go ahead with that. Let's make a Flappy Bird game. Like, this is one of the requests, one of the queries that all models, including ChatGPT 5.4, actually fail because they cannot make this game on the first trial easy enough to play. They make loads of mistakes. And MiniMax M-2.7, when I tested it out like a month ago, actually failed this prompt as well. So let's see the result. That would be really interesting to see. So the game is ready and we just have to click play. And okay, the game is super hard to play. It instantly fails. So I'm going to ask it to make the game a lot easier for a grandpa to play without any challenge. Like, just straight up go ahead and make the game easy, because I really want to see how it generated the pipes, how it did the animations. Right now it's pretty unplayable. Okay, so let's test it out. It did a lot of changes, like it should have done the game pretty easy. So feels a little blur. So I really don't know what is going on sometimes. And yeah, it made the game easier. The pipes look super bad. So overall, this is not a nice result. Like, you can feel that the model is understanding stuff, but it lacks, I would say, UI design. It's like failing on UI, and it's failing a little bit in general. It's getting there. It obviously has improved massively through the previous iteration, but still it's not as good as the benchmarks make it to be. It's benchmarked. So here they've got a list of different experts which you can use. For example, there is this PowerPoint Maker by MiniMax. So you can click Start Chat and you can interact with this. So yeah, arguably make a 10-slide PowerPoint about AI development trends, focus on diffusion, text, models. So let's see how good presentations can it make. Do they make sense, or they are completely off? And sadly, we hit the limits of free usage. That's a little disappointing. Now, one thing that is super interesting is that they have a 24/7 personal assistant, which they call MaxClaw, but you need to have a paid plan to do that. However, to be honest with you, their free limits are very generous. And in general, for monthly usages, you get a lot of tasks. Like, I gotta say, it seems like their value is absolutely tremendous. So yeah, overall, I would say this model is better than the previous one. It's near Gemini 3 Flash intelligence for coding, but it looks good, it looks interesting. Maybe you should try it out. And maybe for API specifically, it's gonna be good. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.